Thank you. And now, welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari, and I'm here with Mark Levine, congressional candidate. He is hoping to replace our beloved Jim Moran, who will be stepping down. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you for having me, Miriam. It's
Mark,
wonderful.
You're a celebrity for many reasons. I think a lot of it could be work that you started doing many years ago. I want you to tell me some of the things that motivate you to run for Congress.
Wow. Well, to me, it's always been about helping people. It's always been about what I could do. I see something going wrong in society, and I just want to change it. I see some mentally ill young man get another gun, and it's too easy, and they're in a mall, and I turn on the TV, and there are a bunch of people that are dead, and I don't want to ever get used to it. So
You're not afraid of
it.
Injustice and facing things head on.
I hate injustice, and I'm determined to stop injustice. And that's, in fact, I was just telling you in the green room, probably the first thing I ever had to work on was when my sister was murdered in 1996, and I had to get justice for her. It took us 10 years. I had to learn Illinois law, Tennessee law, and even Mexican law. I actually went down to Mexico. I had people chase me with guns. It wasn't an easy experience.
And you're one of the good lawyers. You wrote legislation that protects women.
I did. I wrote legislation to
people.
protect, well, they're mostly women, let's face it. Most of the victims of domestic violence are women, and it allows them to escape with their children. And actually, one thing I want to talk about in this campaign, right here in Arlington, there are only 11 beds in all of Arlington County for victims of domestic violence, which I think is atrocious, and the hotline isn't working very well. And one of the things I want to do is bring more attention to this issue so that in Arlington, we can get better treatment for victims of domestic violence.
Okay, and another topic that's very near and dear to my heart is the cost of college, university education.
That's my signature plan.
How can the federal government help?
Well, it's actually, it's funny. One of the candidates in this race on Facebook, I won't say who, said, there's nothing we can do about college costs. And I said, you're not thinking outside the box. So first of all, colleges have tripled in cost in the last 30 years. That's after inflation. They've gone up 6 times. Inflation has doubled. They've tripled. Now, people complain about the cost of healthcare, and healthcare is through the roof. Healthcare has gone up 50% in the last 30 years. That's really high. Nothing compared to education. It's way through the roof. So there's some things we can do. One is obviously give more money to kids. We used to under the GI Bill, you could go to college for free. It was great. In my dad's generation, he could work a summer job, unskilled labor, pay for half of college. You can't do that anymore. So we need more money there. We also need to lower student loan rates. That's what Elizabeth Warren is talking about. But both of those things cost more money.
The rates, you mean the interest rates?
The interest rates.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, lower it down to what the banks pay.
Absolutely.
We make $20 billion a year off our students. That doesn't make any sense.
No. This should not be a cash cow.
But there's one plan that I have that no one's proposed yet, and I want to get that through Congress. I'm confident Elizabeth Warren will support me with it. It's to use the power of the federal government to negotiate down college costs. And the reason is, it goes like this. When they determine how much a student gets for loans, they look at what the student can pay, and they look at what the college costs, and they pay a percentage of the difference. If the college raises their rates, they get more federal, state, and local money. There's an incentive to raise their rates. The more they raise, the more subsidy they get. I would take that same pot of money, and the reason why I think I can get this to Republicans is because the Congressional Budget Office would score it at 0. Fiscal conservatives will love my plan.
I'm a fiscal conservative.
Well, it would cost 0. Take the same pot of money and instead give it to the colleges who lower their tuition costs and agree to a state-federal partnership to keep their rates at the rate of inflation.
Right. Bringing down the cost or at least slowing the increase.
It's slowing the increase, and the ones that don't do that, they're not going to get federal, state, local aid. That's a hefty chunk of what colleges make. So they're going to have a large incentive to do that.
Okay, that's an exciting plan. And can you sell plans? Well, the fact that you have some experience working for Barney Frank,
right.
The fact that you know people in Congress already,
right.
Do you think that gives you an edge?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, I was chief counsel to Congressman Barney Frank. I'm proud to say that I persuaded Hillary Clinton to change her mind on a very important piece of legislation, George Bush's faith-based initiative, actually, which would have allowed the government to discriminate on the basis of religion. Hillary Clinton was originally for this bill, and it wasn't just her. There were more than 60 senators for this bill.
People often make mistakes and need to be educated on both sides of the aisle, and you think you can do that.
Well, and what she's so good about is that she put her pride aside. She had made a mistake. Hey. She read the complex legal brief that I'd written, and she's a wonk. She loves details. She's brilliant. So she went through it. She asked me about some footnotes. She changed her mind, and she changed 13 senators' minds, and that's how I killed George Bush's faith-based initiative in 2002.
Or any initiatives that are not not good for the country.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I do want to touch on before I let you go, Jim Moran was a champion for trying to eliminate the use of single-use polystyrene. He also believed in, exactly, and waste to energy. Where do you think you can make a contribution in the environment in terms of sustainability on issues like
Well, first
styrofoam?
of all, I agree with you with styrofoam. It shouldn't be used for food. It commingles. It gets in your body. It's dangerous. My big issue that I've been focusing on, though, mostly is the mountaintop bombing. So right now, in order to get coal, instead of sending coal miners in and paying their wages, companies are now blowing up the most beautiful mountain ranges in the world. The Appalachian Mountains are some of the oldest mountain ranges. They're 4 billion years old. They take these beautiful rounded mountains with trees and wildlife, and they blow them up, and they look like moonscapes. It's awful. And then all that arsenic and cadmium and selenium, naturally occurring poisons, go out of the mountain and into our rivers. They float right down. I want to swim in the Potomac.
Okay,
We're running out of time, right?
Well, yeah, we're running out of time, but one thing that
Yeah.
I can definitely say that you've convinced me of is that not only do you know great detailed facts about lots of different issues, but you're willing to dig a little bit deeper and come up with answers that really are logical decisions.
We have to think outside the box. I am
Exactly.
tired of conventional politicians that go to Washington, cast the vote with their party, and go home. That's the mere minimum. I'm a Democrat. I support the Democrats, but sometimes the Democrats are wrong. Sometimes we have to challenge the Democrats from the left, and I do that too.
Okay, well, I want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to go to Mark Levine's website.
Thank you.
And that is?
LevineForCongress.com or theaggressiveprogressive.com will get you there too.
That'll help you find Mark Levine. I've enjoyed talking to you today.
Thank you. All too short. We have to do this again.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks for watching this week's news.
Thanks for having me, Miriam.